Proudly, boldly, manly, this is the High Life.
These are the tools of highly specialized athletes known as speed climbers. And these are the medalists from 2003. Back again, Brian Schulz, along with Wade Stewart, as well as Brian Bartow, all here in 2004. And welcome to speed climbing, everybody. Delighted you're with us. Bill Clement along with former world champion lumberjack John Hughes. Before we get started with our quarterfinal matchups, we obviously have rules and regulations, John.
The rules stating you must get to the top of that 65-foot pole, and once you reach that point, touch the pole above the stripe with your rope. Then the descent, setting a gap at least once in each third of the tree on the way down.
We wanted to give everybody a closer look at the toe gap. Obviously, a pretty important part of the equipment for a tree climber. You can't get up the tree without it. And John, obviously, this gaff has to be extremely pointy, extremely sharp.
It's filed to keep it sharp. That's what's going to get me up the pole.
And because it's centered near the front of your foot, near your toe, thus the low-cut shoes, right?
The low-cut shoe gives me flexibility in the ankle. Also, I can use the power of my calf muscle, stepping on my toes to push me up there.
One of the true fan favorites here at the Great Outdoor Games is speed climbing, and we take a look at our brackets. These athletes were seeded based on their world ranking. That's why #1 Brian Bartow goes against #8 Dustin Beckwith.
And as the #1 seed, he's heavily favored to win this first race.
Here is Spider-Man Brian Bartow, considered by many to be the fastest to the top of the tree in the world. And Dustin Beckwith will really be climbing uphill and swimming upstream against Brian Bartow. Beckwith was seriously injured a couple of years ago in a climb at the Great Outdoor Games, fully recovered, and back here trying to stage an upset in the quarterfinals.
Timers and judges ready. Competitors ready.
Brian Bartow on the left and Dustin Beckwith on the right.
Bartow well out front. A slip for Dustin there.
And on the out, Brian Bartow, whoop, a slip here. Looks like Brian Bartow had to ride the tree down to the bottom. Dustin Beckwith finishes well behind.
When you're going up against a climber like Brian Bartow, you have no room for error. And on this climb, Dustin had a slip. He was already behind at this stage. This made it even harder for him to catch.
You're playing catch-up anyway when you're climbing against Brian Bartow, and Dustin Beckwith dug a hole for himself that he could not get out of.
Brian Bartow, 25 years old, improving on every climb. Look at this effortless performance, reaching for the sky.
Brian has won gold here each of the last 3 years in speed climbing at the Great Outdoor Games. Has a new look, a mullet look, doesn't matter. He still knows how to speed climb.
The keys to success in speed climbing, reaching the top of the tree first and then reaching the bottom of the tree first. That's the #1 key. The adrenaline is something you feel right before you go. When you're going up the tree, you're like all pumped up. I'm gonna do it. You just gotta relax and you do the best you can. A little bit of luck never hurts.
Brian Bartow into gold medal territory.
Brian Bartow has captured the gold medal. Brian Bartow, his 3rd consecutive gold. And improvement is something that Brian Bartow knows a lot about. If you take a look at his times in 4 years at the Great Outdoor Games, he has improved on his times every year. As a matter of fact, he has broken the Great Outdoor Games record the last 3 consecutive years.
Quite amazing performance.
And here's our second quarterfinal matchup. Brian Schulz, who picked up a bronze medal last year, not had a chance to train as much this year coming into the Great Outdoor Games. And Brian going up against a man he idolized as a teenager, Guy German, the elder statesman of speed climbers at age 50. And Guy will be cheered on, as he is every year at the Great Outdoor Games, by Guy's girls, his daughters.
Timers and judges ready. Competitors ready.
Brian Schulz seeded #4, Guy German #5. This should be the closest matchup.
Brian Schulz on the left is very quick to the top generally, but Guy German looks like he's pulling ahead here.
Both these climbers have a great out. Guy reaches the line first.
Oh, and quick to the bottom. At 50 years of age, Guy German advances to the semifinals, something he has never done before at the Great Outdoor Games. And a genuine congratulations by Brian Schulz to his idol, Guy German. What a climb for both of them to the top.
On the right pole, Guy German, watch his shoulders. As he gets closer to the top of the pole, he's swaying from side to side. It's getting tough up there, folks. The last 25 feet are just killers, but he reaches the line first.
Just an incredible out by Guy German, down to the bottom first, and John is with our winner now.
Thanks, Bill. Guy German, an incredible run. You're 50 years old. You just knocked off one of the top young guys. Tell us how you feel right now.
I don't care about the 50. I don't care about the young guy. This is just my first time getting into the semis in the Great Outdoor Games. And it took me 5 years to do that. So it's a very emotional moment for me. I'm really glad that I can advance to a medal round.
Well, if anybody deserves it, it is Guy German. What an emotional moment for this gentleman. But he advances now to take on the gold medalist from the last 3 years, Brian Bartow. And you know, if medals were awarded each year for class individuals at the Great Outdoor Games, this man, Guy German, would definitely be a candidate each and every year.
Describe the perfect day.